tried to free your mind, Nia, but I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it. You have to let it all go, Nia. Fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind.
This is the Mind is Mine podcast. What it do, ladies and gentlemen? Episode 21. Today is a special episode. I got my man, Big Heart Art Phillips. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's really good. Thanks for having me, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming out, man. Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while. Like you said, the Lord has you moving in different ways. And all I do is follow instructions very well. So
for sure. That's indeed. So, but I want to give you the floor and introducing yourself, honestly. Okay. So, whatever you guys say is all yours.
Well, my name is Arthur Phillips. I have my own company, Motivational Speaking. It's called My Price, My Value.
Indeed.
And the whole premise behind me starting that about 5 years ago, I kind of got away from corporate and, the man of the universe called me and he told me that he wanted me to use the gifts that I was birthed with and stop giving it to everybody else and to focus on really my mind and my journey, which what he gave me with. So I did that. I quit corporate. And the last 5 years I've been doing speaking engagements, development, training, which is my background in sales and training. But now I took the skill of my positive thinking, my positive outlook, and really honing into that to be able to further the cause of what most people struggle with, and that personal development, personal accountability. So I also do that aspect into what I do. I'm a umpire in charge in Chesterfield for Perfect Game. I also have my own project management company. So the central core about what I do is on communication. Doesn't matter who it is or what it is. It is all about accountability. And I've been on this journey for a while, and I'm excited about the way people are receiving it now rather than having angst about it. So it's always interesting when I do training and things of that sort. So looking forward to kind of going back and forth, because both you and I have talked about several different things, and it always says the spirit speaks to the spirit. So I'm just blessed and happy to be able to be where I'm at, moving where I'm at. I'm better than I used to be, and I'm keep moving forward and taking personal responsibility for me. And one of my sayings is, I don't make excuses, I make adjustments. So
indeed.
That's what a lot of people do. So that's a little bit about me. I could go on and on and on, but you know what? God has got me doing that. My main focus is to be better than I was the day before. I'm my biggest competition.
Indeed. Brick by brick.
Brick by brick.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If anything, I do want to go deeper into accountability mindset, because you brought that up.
Yeah.
And if anything, you showed that while we were at PG every game. You just making sure, going around every field,
right,
making sure everybody's staying accountable, because that's a big image that we have to hold.
Yeah, and it is. As an official, it's really, really big, because it's kind of like, and I've explained to people, we're kind of like police. You need us, but you don't want us. Mm-hmm. And we're there to incorporate the rules as they are stated. Now, with that comes individual interpretation.
For sure.
And that's where the things get a little bit murky. So my thing is, as an official, what I teach my officials is you have to have a certain mindset when you come in and do officiating, because you have parents, okay, they have a job.
Yeah. Their
job is to cheer and cheer their heart out. Coaches have a responsibility to coach their team. Umpires, we have a responsibility to enforce order into the game, and the players play. But where things get a little bit murky is when people get out of their lane. Okay, so when parents want to coach, coaches want to umpire, kids want to umpire, and make judgments and things like that, then there's misunderstanding.
Yeah.
So having a positive mindset. So when you you heard me say that, guys, when you come here, I know you got life and everything. For these next few hours, I need you to just concentrate on just umpiring. Because a lot of people carry a lot of baggage. We're all human. If you can concentrate on that and do the best of your ability, my job is to get you paid. Now, here's things that's not going to get you paid. And let's go personal accountability.
Yeah.
How you respond, how you react instead of respond to the situation. How do you manage the game? You don't have to do it with us iron fist. It's the communications in regards to that. But if you let someone affect your mind and your aura about what you're saying, then now you're not in control, they are. And then now they start to dictate what is and what isn't. Okay? And one thing I don't tolerate as far as, other people's about my officials is we're not going to verbally assassinate anybody. Everybody makes mistakes. And like I said, you're not going to do that. Because if you are, to the hills, my man, because you're not going to be on the field. So I take care of everything outside of the field, and I let my umpires take care of that. But you got to have a mindset of, I'm here to manage this game and get through it. Okay? Yeah. And be the best advocate I can for the sport.
Yeah, umpiring is not for the weak, and there's so many details behind baseball itself that you have to just lock in on. And with the parents, with the kids, the coaches, and all those other factors playing in, it can be tough sometimes.
Yeah.
And with me playing baseball in the past, I kind of understand that environment, and I was able to navigate through that. And just being a people person, honestly, as well, definitely helps you on that road.
Yeah, it does. It does. And see, that's the thing where I've always been a person that wanted to learn and wanted to teach. See, that's the big thing about it is I've been officiating for over 40 years. And guys say, oh, that's a long time. So initially when you say how long you've been associated, that's why I don't say it a whole lot. It's because people have that expectation. Once you put a number on something, they think you are adequate at it. I could have been doing 40 years and doing it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? So I always look to learn, okay? I don't say, well, you can't say anything. I've been doing this longer than you've been born. I know you heard that before, and officials say
For
that.
sure.
But here's the thing. I'm not here to prove anything to you. I'm here to model the behavior, the type of things I want to see. So if I'm being proactive, communicable with other people, then guess what? They're either going to replicate me or they're going to go against. But if they go against, now I have points to point out, look, I came to you like this, you came this way. Here's the way we're going to do. So it's not me telling what to do. It's you being accountable, just like they're being accountable for their behavior. But we can't make anybody do anything. But we can sure infuse the rules and the regulations, and they speak for themselves. One of the big things I always say to people all the time is, if you got a problem with somebody, you get in an argument, just ask questions.
Yeah.
Because nobody want to ask the questions. Everybody, naturally, as a human, wants to be emotional, wants to have fire about stuff. But if you tell me step by step and then give their words back to them, because a lot of times people be just talking and not even hearing what they're saying.
Oh, for sure.
They're not even hearing what they're saying. And the thing about that is I'm always mindful to be an active hearer, not listener. Because there's a difference between listening and hearing. Well, most people, when they listen, they look for opportunities to respond to the poignant things that somebody's saying to them without any thought or feeling, so they respond right away. Now, when you hear, you let the person finish, because they got to breathe sooner or later. Okay. Yeah. And you just take a mental note of everything, just point by point, and give those exact points that they pointed out to you and ask, is this what you're saying to me?
For sure.
And see, you'd be surprised how people are like, well, I don't know, I didn't mean that. Okay, I was listening to you. Let me hear you this time. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, all the coaches is they want to be heard. So I'm not quick to infuse what I think. That's why I always say, Coach, I'm not going to say anything. Tell me what you saw. Then that gives me a time to gather my thoughts before I even if I know I'm right, okay, I can then respond to their disagreement instead of react.
Yeah.
And that's just a little key. A lot of people, if you do that, especially with difficult people, always ask, because nobody want to ask questions. Think about it. You question me. You twisted my words. No, I'm giving your words back to you.
A lot of people want to enforce rather than ask. Yeah,
that's a good point, and I try to be very mindful of that.
For sure. Yeah, some of these coaches that I've dealt with can just be like, they want to enforce their way, and like you said, you take a step back and listen to them, and you realize sometimes they don't even make any sense at all. They like to take control of the game, and we have to put ourselves in the position to control the game, but also have a willingness to accept our flaws and accept mistakes as well, and communicate. And in baseball, that's just so important because it's a game of inches.
Right, it is. It is. And the thing about it is, I look at it as manage. I got to manage myself first because everything starts with me. It starts when I come out on the field, how I introduce myself to the coaches, how I communicate with the players. Okay, kids and coaches are totally different than when I was growing up. You know, when I was growing up, my coach said, "Don't you say a doggone thing to the referee or the coach. I mean, or any other players. Okay, not unless you do good sportsmanship or helping them out, something like that. You don't say anything." Well, now kids, there's a sense of entitlement now, brother, from the coaches to the parents to the players. Because now it is the community used to take care of the kids and the development of the kids. Now it's don't touch my kid. My kid was right without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, and that has fueled into what we see now in America. Now it's to each his own. It's not for the betterment of the welfare and the workfare of people. It's individualized now. And if it doesn't affect me, I'm not going to worry about it. Well, things are changing because, I don't like to get political, but look at the way the government and things are going right now.
For sure, 100%.
I mean, you have to acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. And one thing, I don't get wrapped up in it, just way off a little bit, but I'm getting back to the mindset. I don't really focus on what's going on there because those are all kind of like points that to get your attention. But if you do your own research and just don't go by what's going on, then you could be able to assess things a little bit better. But we are such a instant gratification type of society and nation. Whatever's told to us, we're like little kids. Yeah, Dad said that. So
yeah, we need that dopamine.
Right. Yeah. It's like if it ain't moving quick enough, then it must not be right. If it's not on TikTok, Twitter, and everything, it must not be true. So what have they done? They flooded that with all the thoughts and emotion and fears that we've always had inside of us and bring it out. See, that's where your personal mindset has to really be in tune and to block out what you know and you say is true to you, not outside of you. What I say all the time to people, and people must understand, if you understand this and work on this, you'll be better as a person for you, not for nobody else. There is nothing outside of you that is keeping you from being successful. It's you. It's not your teacher. It's not your mom. It's not your professor. It's not the president. It's you. What are you going to do? Because this whole thing, well, you know what? You should help me. You should be nice to me. No. You be nice to yourself. And then you discern, and I'm going to say this, and it might sound a little bit crazy, but everyone is prejudice. You know the difference between prejudice and racist. A lot of people don't understand that. You can't tell me. Everybody has a sense of prejudice. It's called prejudging.
Yeah.
Okay, in any situation. But they made prejudice as a bad word. Actually, it's a one of funneling what you're going to, personal mindset, you're going to believe or not believe. You just do it without verbalizing. You do it with your actions.
For sure. For sure. And that's just a point of view in somebody's life. It's that perception.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think one thing that you brought up in terms of like when you were talking about the government, somebody put that in baseball terms and saying that baseball was the game where you guys come together in leisure and you don't even have to pay attention to the action. Now baseball is all about that capitalism and instant gratification. It's like, we got to go. We got to go. And they're just calling it a long sport and trying to change the game so much to the point where it's not even like fun to watch anymore. Like I still find enjoyment in it because I'm a baseball guy to the core, but I think him bringing that up and comparing that to how this capitalist society is now moving and that lack of accountability that not only that we hold for ourselves, but community as well. And that's what I've been surrounded by and surrounding myself with like-minded individuals that keep themselves accountable individually so we can hold each other accountable as a collective.
Yeah.
And if we don't, then obviously we're going to continue to tread down the same road that you look at what the government's doing. Like certain people within government have a strong community and they have respect for that, but they don't have respect for a lot of the people that they are supposed to lead or in turn supposed to enforce. And we're not really learning from that sense of accountability because I feel like that's an issue that we have for the middle class and even the poor as well, is that we're not taking notes of coming together, holding each other accountable, because if we have this individualized mind state alone without coming together, then things are only going to get worse.
Well, it's becoming more. That gap is becoming bigger.
Yes.
It's us and them. That's all it is. And if you're not the top 10% of the rich, okay, you're poor. Ain't no middle class, brother.
Yeah.
There's none.
It's diminishing.
And you know what? They give you a perception that they're a middle class and a lower class, and they keep us infighting amongst each other.
It scares
us. So we have a point. It's them. It's the rich. They should pay more in taxes, this, that, and other. Those are all distractions on the real thing that they're doing. And they are taking your personal perception on what it is to be an American or whatever you want to call it. But when you take that back and gather who you are and what you are, and you take personal investment in your behavior, your mindset, you'll start to see things change and you'll start to see things differently. I know that's what it's been for me. I give you an example. Okay, I'm traveling to Vegas this weekend for my sister's 60th birthday. So when I booked my ticket, I booked it on. I booked it on Expedia. Okay, so it was the 22nd and the 24th. Okay, actually I put the wrong date in. I put March 22nd and 21st, but it's the same weekend as 22nd and 24th of this month.
Yeah.
So I made a major mistake. So when I looked at it, I tried to switch it. Well, guess what? It's non-refundable.
Yeah. So
here's how they sound like. Well, okay, we'll apply this to, they pretty much double it, so I'm paying it again. So when I let my mother and my sister know, my mother was furiated. And I said to myself, you know what? That was my fault because I didn't do it. And she just I said, look, I took personal responsibility. Yes, I made a mistake. But how often do we blame somebody else for the mistakes that we do? I don't subscribe to that anymore because here's the deal. They put those premises in there because they know they're going to catch a few people. And yeah, it was an honest mistake. And yeah, I could have argued and stuff like that. But guess what? It wasn't going to do any good. They wasn't going to give me a refund. Okay. They were going to apply it to what they said was the price. Because I looked at the price again. And it was the same price, but they doubled it, so we ended up paying it. My point is, in the old time, I'd have been so upset and so mad and everything like that. But I look at it like this. God's going to bless me. You see because money isn't real. The experience, your time that you invest is real. So going back to what we said, personal mindset is, what are you investing yourself in?
Yes.
What are you, not what people doing for you and a job and your significant other or whoever. What are you taking personal responsibility for you. What does that look like and sound like? And you have to define that and keep your system within the system. Because if you don't have the system, the mind is the most powerful muscle we have in our body.
The most powerful tool.
But guess what? We do stuff mindlessly and then wonder why things happen because we didn't use our mind.
Yeah.
And that's really what I want to focus on, because you don't have to be a smart person or what. No, it's not about being smart. It's being conscious. That's that word. We're going to say that a lot today.
Awareness.
Being conscious and aware of where you fit in the. Be honest with yourself, because that man or woman in the mirror, you can't run from. You can tell everybody else what you are and what you are, but you got to look in that mirror and you got to say to yourself.
Yeah, you can only wear a mask for so long.
And a lot of people are out here running masks and everything, and they get so bad with the mask, they don't even know if that's the right one or not.
It's Halloween every day, honestly.
Every day.
And that's why I named this the Mind is Mine podcast. It's all about accountability, because if you don't take accountability for your own mental, that leads into the physical, that also leads into the spiritual, it's all interconnected, then somebody else can easily come into your space and tell you what to do.
Exactly.
And navigate your constructs.
And they do it. If you really look at your life, if you really look at your mind and the other things that you accept, things you believe, all those different things, if you start to take a personal account, okay, how do I really feel about this? Okay, not what my brothers, my mom, because we all get our basis off of family. And the thing about it is, we decide to follow the path of the way we were raised, or we pivot off to what we want to do. Either way, it's okay, but you still got to get some personal accountability of how am I going to move forward in the way I want my life to be. Not what my mom wants it, grandma and everything else. They have a say-so in it, but still you got to live your life. One thing, I have 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls. I got me a basketball team with a sub, okay? So I remember, all my kids are in their 20s now. I remember when each of them, when they graduated from grade school going to high school, I sit them down, I talk to them, I say, hey, for these many years, you've been really working on, what mom thinks and dad thinks. I'm not going to be here all the time. Mom's not going to be here all the time. So I need you to remember the things that I taught you when I ain't around. Because I can tell you, don't hang with these people, don't do this or don't do that. You're still going to have a personal responsibility. I'm giving you some latitude to make decisions on your own. You're going to come and ask me, and I'm asking you, what do you think? And I want you to think about it before you make it, because it's going to be your decision. And that worked well, because now I got individual thinkers. I don't got followers, because I empowered them to make sense. I didn't rule over them. I reigned, which gives them an opportunity to experience what they want.
Yes.
Okay. Within reason. Okay. If they get too far off, but I'm gonna let them experience, because this is an experience. And I think a lot of parents, because when I was raised, I'm Gen X, baby. They left us alone. We raised ourselves. I've been cooking since I was 9. We've been at the house at 9. Our only rule was you better get home before the lights come on.
Yeah.
Not kids come and go, and parents wanted to be their friends. I'm not your friend. I'm your dad. Mm-hmm. And there goes children raising children because they haven't learned. So we can go a whole lot of different things, though. I want to say, but I'm just saying, personal mindset to me is first, what do I want to experience? Not what people tell me that I should be as an African-American man, as a man, period. I'm going to talk about that too, because I think we're shunning away from men being men. Okay?
Indeed. I had this conversation with my last guest, and how that's just been eroding away the concept of what it means to be a man, and the responsibility and the accountability that comes with that.
Right.
I do want to touch on the parenting as well, because I feel that I do agree that if we just be friends with our children, and I don't have any children,
Right.
but if we just be friends, then it kind of gets into this space of leniency.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's no accountability, and it's just like, there's no accountability. There's no discipline. Yeah, there's no discipline.
Yeah.
And I think parents are not dictators, but guides. And they have to teach everything that they've been through. And then our children have to apply that knowledge. That knowledge is nothing unless if it's applied. And that's accountability itself.
There it is right there. And I think that's the big point you made. Because, see, I come from a dictatorship. Okay, I didn't have a voice. Okay, but that was okay. That's how I was raised. But see, a lot of the parents, like my age, parent their kids, they started to be a little lenient. And as generations come after that, those parents started to parent because their parents were, on them every time. But they didn't know the reason why. I'm glad I was raised the way I was. But I was taught compassion. I was taught all those different things. And my mom, she's 79 years old, and do you think I call her by her first name? That floors me with just a simple thing like that. That's still mama,
Yeah.
But here's the thing. A reason why I say that is because as generation comes, that, going back to what I said, they're either going to parent the way you were parent or you're going to parent totally different. In that aspect, a lot of them didn't get the friendship, didn't get the understanding, didn't give the latitude to be able to have their voices heard. But now more and more has happened. But there's danger in that because now I think I'm on the same page as you. I heard kids talk about, well, you don't do it. Yes, that's true. But that's mom, that's dad. But they have the gall to actually have it come out of their mouth. But they provided that platform for them to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I think that's the change that's to happen. So, but for me, I really enjoy and relish seeing parents parent. Seeing parents, like I'll give you an example today. One of the kids was playing basketball. Really, you can tell he can be a really good player, but he's young. So I came up and I explained to him, hey, slow down. You're faster than everybody else. You don't have to go fast every time. And the parent stopped me and said, look, thank you. I like the way you officiate because you talk to the kids. You tell them what they do wrong because their minds are moving like 50 miles a minute.
I do the same thing.
And see, now you have a culture of I'm not here. I'm with that officer friendly police or whatever, or officer friendly. People used to come and this is what we do. Now they see somebody that's not threatening. They may not agree, but at least you explain it to me.
Yeah.
And the parents come up and say all the time, you guys do a good job with the kids. You explain to the kids. But you always have those one-offs here and there that, going back to what I said, looking outside, I punch them in the mouth every time. I do. I give you an example. We was doing a football game last fall. It's a championship. It's like 13-year-olds or whatever. And the parents, they told them not to come out on the track. What they do? Come out on the track. All right, then made them get back and like that. So I'm just standing there. I look over. What you looking at? What you looking at? I said it. Yeah, I said it. I said, ma'am, why are you looking outside of yourself for verification? Do you know who you are? She looked at me. What do you mean do I know who I am? I said, if you know who you are, then why are you acting the way you're acting? Yeah, I'm going to give you exactly what I see. It's up to you to do what you're going to do. I mean, I do mindful thing to mindless people all the time.
And that pisses people off. That pisses them off.
My biggest thing, because I'm a very faithful person. I don't want to say religion or whatever like that, but I believe in a higher being. I believe in God. I believe that he rose again after 3 days after being crucified. All right? I don't subscribe to say I'm a Baptist, I'm a this and that, because then now you can put me in a box, and I don't like to be put in a box.
Yes.
Okay, so, but if I get upset and I can't say nothing, you know what I say? You know what? I understand what you're saying. I just ask a little grace and favor. And then to keep yelling, screaming at me, you know what? God bless you. God bless you, and I hope you feel better. Just move on.
I'm not going to stoop down from the ladder to get on your level. Yeah, no.
No, because you had a hard week at work. This is the only outlet you have of seeing your kids and living through your kids. You know, I've seen it so many times. But getting back to what you said, you know, your personal mindset, man. I mean, I start every day the same. And that is, I give thanks for the Lord letting me see a day that I've never seen before. It may look the same, but it's not. So I look for the lessons and the blessings that He's going to show me today. I purposely look for them. I don't say, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, because then I get away from the focus of what He wants for me. He wants the abundance for all of us, not white people, black people, brown, orange, red people, for all of us. But here's what gets us is, what gets us in trouble, we lean on our own understanding.
Yes.
Instead of really focusing on and having the patience to have Him walk with you and talk with you. Have Him do His job. I ain't trying to do God's job. And every time I catch myself, I ain't got nothing to do with this. I'm going to let the Lord take care of this. Now, I'm not going to sit back and say, okay, Lord, when you going to take care of it? I keep purposely moving forward in what I'm doing in my life.
Yeah, you're a vessel for that.
Right. But see, the people don't understand that. People say all the time, especially church people, well, I'm waiting on God. God going to work it out. But you don't stop working because He's going to work it out. You keep moving forward. You keep doing things purposely because that's what He would want for you and all people. And a lot of people look for blame and don't understand when things happen. He'll never leave you or forsake you. He says it in a word, but we always looking for fault instead of looking for, the purpose of, okay, why did this happen? You're gonna learn it, but you gotta have the patience to realize that, you gotta have the patience to let it go through instead of you trying to press the envelope. Because I ain't trying to do God's job. I really ain't.
Yeah.
But a lot of us are. We try to be God to everybody. That's not your job. That's not your job. That's why it starts with you. And once you start working on you, once you get a little baseline of what you do, once you get a system that works for you, because if you don't have a system, it's kind of like the same thing. If you don't say anything or you don't make a decision, you've made a decision. You made a decision to not do anything.
Yes.
Okay. And a lot of people say, well, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't say, no, well, not saying anything is either validating in the people who are upset or you're going against the people that you didn't speak up for. And see, a lot of people, you gotta pick a side. And picking a side means being mindful of what God put inside of you. Okay, not to show off to everybody else, just to be who you are.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I definitely subscribe to that because I feel that we have gone so out of touch with ourselves and in turn with God as well, to the point where we're moving so fast we don't have the time to sit back and observe and be still. And I feel like there is a big misconception between stagnicity and stillness. I treat stagnicity as if I'm still moving backwards.
Right.
Stillness is like I can still move forward, but be still in my actions and know when to act, know when to speak, and know when to think.
That's a good concept. That's a good concept for people to learn for themselves. And I think what's happening is, for me, when I talk to people, when I do my speaks and stuff like that, first of all, I don't try to convince anybody that I'm anything. Okay. You're going to make your assessment of that.
Yeah, that's a waste of time.
That's a waste of time for me to try to prove. So I used to do that early when I used to be a trainer and everything like that, but I became a presenter of information. There's a difference. A presenter of information will put the information and invoke thought. That's what they do. Trainers will go, we're going to cover this, we're going to cover this, we're going to cover this, just mindlessly going through different things to get it done. I've always tried to advocate being a presenter of information. And as you get that information, how do you apply it to what your job? So you get training all the time, but do you implement? Training is no good if it's not being implemented. All you're doing is getting a checkpoint system off of, okay, yeah, I did that one. I finished that, but did you retain anything? Did you apply it to it? Did you put it into your system?
That's the problem with the education system right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that it's just mindlessly just pumping kids through.
Let me ask you this, because I know you know the answer.
Yeah.
Why were schools created?
To create obedient workers.
Okay,
And
yes.
it was I know
Who did
the
it?
quote. I know the quote with John D. Rockefeller. And how
Rockefeller,
he,
they didn't want to do.
Yeah.
It was too many people riding around on the street not doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's why they made schools.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they made schools, bro, to be obedient workers. So when people ask, why don't they teach finance? Really?
And it's competition too.
It's competition too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about it is, think about how a room is set up. Tables right across.
Yeah.
Very neat, very structured.
Mm-hmm.
What does that resemble? It resembles a warehouse, doesn't it? A prison.
Yeah.
Prisons, warehouses, which were the major what? Businesses that took care of the United States, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Guess
And
where
they're all designed by the same
and
person.
guess where they're going now? Guess where they're now? They're abroad.
Mm.
Okay? And it came about, we don't want to do that anymore. But the other people picked up the Japanese, the Chinese, they picked up on it. They learned from us. And they took it and they maximized it. So now, what do we have? And people are like, I subscribed to this too. It was bit in my head when I was like, you got to go to college, you got to graduate, you got a good job, you got to be an obedient worker, to build somebody else's dream up.
And now we're at a point where you can get that degree and you don't even get into that field at all. You're working at McDonald's.
Ironically, that was the first job that we get because I didn't have no experience. I had a degree. I came back home. I was in Nebraska. I got my degree. I came back home and nobody would hire me. Nobody. I'm like, I got a 4-year degree. Because here's the reason why. It's because I had the schooling, but I didn't have the experience, and they didn't want to pay me because they know that you got, with the degree does come a little pay scale.
Yes.
So in their mindset, they couldn't pay me. All I wanted to do is get some experience. I wanted to get a job. But little, they kind of prejudge you, being prejudiced again.
Yep.
He ain't going to be here long, so why should we invest? Seriously. So I ended up working at McDonald's. My cousin got me the job. I ended up working for like 2 days. And it wasn't, I don't blame you. I said, I was like, dude, I may sound bougie or whatever. I said, man, I got a degree. I can't work at McDonald's. So yeah, sports has afforded me to do a lot of things. Until I got into my field, I officiated sports. Okay, I've been officiating sports since I'm 15. I'm double nickels now. I'm 55. So let me tell you something. It's afforded me a life I thought I'd never see. Because I knew I'd never make it to the pros or anything. The highest thing I ever made is college football and college baseball. But I did make it to, we had a semi-pro team here in St. Louis called the Knights. I played with them several years, but that's about it. But being an official, you get to stay close to the game. And if you really hone your craft up, you can really make a pretty decent side income or real income. You don't have to get to Division I, Division II to have a good income being an official. You can make anywhere from $50,000 to $60,000.
You make some good money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing about it, it's the attitude for a lot of guys. And I explain to guys, that's why I want to train younger guys. I want to build an academy. They're not just baseball, but football, basketball, wrestling, all those different sports. If you want to be an official, we can teach you the fundamentals of how to do that and how it can be a valuable career. One of our own went to the Major League Baseball camp this spring in January. Roy Moore. Roy, amongst 1,500 guys, went up there down at Vero Beach, Florida. Did really, really good. Got offered a job. He got offered to be on staff. So he's got some things that he's got to think about. So he's leaving on the 9th, heading to Arizona to be a spring training down there. But he got offered to get a job. Top 20 out of 1,500.
Dang.
Top 20 out of 50.
Congrats to him,
20
man.
guys. Yeah. And here's the thing about it is, and I was explaining to him, and you know Roy. Roy's a very humble guy. He's very approachable, really in good condition. You know, he's not the prototypic umpire. He's got a nice, athletic build, but his mindset wasn't good. He's like, all right, man. I was like, dude, you don't have to worry about anything. They're looking for, especially an African American who is coachable. They love it. So I say that to say this: it encouraged me to really get out, because I'll never get there anymore. I'm too old. Okay, I'm too old and I'm too fat. So I can train with my mind and give the guys what I got. You know, I still do college baseball. Love it. I don't do a whole lot of games, but I do enough. But I always honor the game and give respect to it, because if you don't, it'll turn on you.
Yes.
It'll turn on you.
Yes.
And do I feel good? No. But when I have a game, I don't care if it's Little League, I don't care if it's college, I locked in, because they deserve my full attention.
Yes.
Okay? They deserve all of me. And a lot of guys get ticked off. Well, you've been out where we're at in Chesterfield, God, I don't want to do that game. You know, it's that. No, it has nothing to do with that. Those little kids need those good officials just like those big kids do.
Yeah. And
we're growing so much out there. And right now, my job as one of the UIC is to develop guys and get things. And I'm excited about it, because now I get to put my personal imprint on it succeeding. But the whole thing about it is we're a team. See, if you know something, I like working for a team. You know, I don't want to say this, that, and this. We all can be UICs, because sometimes all of us need to be able to reign for the betterment of the organization. And see, that's where we're moving now. So we want guys with like attitude, like aspirations. And it's very encouraging.
Yeah. And one thing I've learned from the game is that if I didn't respect it, on which I didn't, there was a time period in which my last year of high school and especially college, I kind of used it for surface level reasons rather than my love for the game.
Right.
And I lost out on the game. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go pro and I wanted to take it to a different level, but I wasn't putting the application that I needed for me to do that. Now, fast forward to what I'm doing with umpiring, is that I realized that if I didn't apply this knowledge, I can let it work through me, and I help these kids to do the same, because I've been there and I know where I went wrong. Mm-hmm. I want to see them succeed and learn from my own mistakes as well.
And that's great. And see, that's the type of people that I want on my team. Either guys who aspire to want to develop, not just be an umpire, but develop to be a better player. That's why a lot of college guys I like to bring on, because you're still in it. You know what it looks like. It's not that hard.
It helps your knowledge of the game.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I want to get high school guys, like juniors. Guys, sophomores going to be juniors. Juniors going to be seniors. Number one, it puts some really decent money in your pocket.
For sure.
You hustle, okay? You really got to hustle that much. You just got to your best ability is availability, okay? And just going out there and putting yourself out there. But a lot of guys get scared because they don't want people yelling and screaming at them. So I get that, but I say to it, you have to focus on you. That goes with the personal mindset of being who you are. I find myself when I talk to guys and people say, I had this guy said to me one time. I said to the kids, I used to give them a word for the day when I was down in Houston, and this one coach said, "You're not a counselor. You don't need to say." I said, "Coach, are you saying to me you don't want me to impart any wisdom to your guys? We're learning from each other." Kind of put it on back, because guess what? That wasn't how he does things. And I always ask coaches, is it okay if I say something to your kid? Because they pick up on your aura if you're good or not. Okay? Yeah. But now, like having personal responsibility, I tell the kids down at PG, I tell the kids up here, I said, this is a recruiting league. You're not just out here playing baseball. You never know who's looking.
Yeah,
they looking at everything. That's why I tell my guys, you never know who looking.
Yeah, that 13U national tournament that we had, it was just insane.
Bro, they were throwing 90-92 at 13.
Yeah.
Okay. I ain't talking about all over. I'm talking about hitting spots. You know, and for you guys, y'all kind of got to see that because, okay, this is good, you know, because you hardly ever get to see good stuff. You know?
And man, officialing good baseball makes the game go by not only quicker, but it's so much better.
It's easier. And people think, well, what level do you like doing? I said, dude, I like all levels.
Yeah, good baseball.
But I just like good baseball.
Yeah. I
don't put an age on it. A lot of guys, some guys get to college and they say, like in my association down in Texas, they say, well, you need to stop doing those. I said, look, this is my livelihood. Okay. I ain't gonna get good or better. You know, I've been to the mountaintop. I've done higher level ball. I've done Division II ball. I've done some Division I ball before, way a long time ago when I had a better body. But I love doing sports. I love it. I love it. You know, if my mom used to always say, you want to do something, if you didn't get paid a dime for it, you do it anyway. That's how I feel about officiating. Yeah. If you just afforded me a house and a car and everything, I ain't got to make no money. If you just gave me a good living, I don't want to be rich. But now I want to share that with other guys to make it a valuable career for them. And that's my focus now, is to teach, you know, and model. Okay. Yeah. So that's why I'm working
the next generation.
Working on my body because I keep it in the shape. Trying to remove some of these swing sets and slides from the front of my stomach. You know, but it's a journey. It's good though. I love the excitement when you tell a kid something. I say, hey, just pull your foot back a little bit. Listen. I did this one time. This kid said, I said, what are you getting upset for? Do you know how many times you're going to strike out in your life in baseball? And you getting upset about this one? I said, make the adjustment. What did he throw you? Okay, guess what? He's going to see you again. He's going to throw the same thing that he got you out with last time. Most good coaches will tell him, keep doing it until he makes the adjustment. And a lot of guys don't make the adjustment. You get hard-headed. Yeah. And the kid hit a base hit and turned the corner. I looked at him, winked his eye, he said, thank you. And those are the little things.
They remember you off that as well.
They do. And let me tell you something. Everybody know, down in Texas, when I go to Houston, these other guys going to see it too. They ain't seen me in a couple of years. Everybody know who Big Art is. Like if you're a pitcher, you know all I got to do is hit my spots. He going to ring it. Now, I don't get crazy, but what I'm saying is I'm a pitcher's umpire. Yeah. You know? And like I said, I'm not going to take the bat out of the batter's hand. But if it's on the corner, if it's on the white, T2, bye-bye. And they like it. They pick up on it. You know, they say, oh, man, that's the good umpire. You know, and it's good to hear those words, you know. A lot of people got their favorites. A lot of people, when they see some umpires, go, oh, shoot. I never wanted to be that guy. And I'll be honest with you, I've been that guy before, you know. And you just do the best you can. And you always try to do better. My thing is, a lot of people don't try to do better. They want to be average. I want to get to that. We want to build to be average. Yeah. And they get sell us that. Let me tell you what my oldest son told me when he graduated. And I have never been the maddest in my life. I said, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your life? You know what he said to me? He said, Dad, I just want to get by. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that look like or sound like? How you... And it makes it, did I make a mistake raising you? No, you still chose to do what you do. He was never, his cousins were in the hood and stuff like that. Wasn't middle class or nothing like that. But you had a structure. You had a mom and dad. You know, you had a structure. But he went totally opposite. He wanted to do all the things. Well, I never stopped him from doing things, but he felt he was missing something. You know, he got into he got into the military. You know, got a little freedom and everything, and then ended up, you know. So but he said that to me. I just want to get by, and that's the mindset of a lot of you. I just want to get by, but you got to look for the abundance that God has for you. And what does that mean? What do you want for yourself? Because God's going to oblige you either way. Because whatever you tell the universe, That's what we're going to deliver. But what confuses the universe up is when you say something and then you do the opposite. Now it's confused.
Yeah.
Because you said you wanted this, but you didn't have the patience to wait on it.
You commented on my video about how confusion and the universe doesn't want you to be confused.
No.
The universe can't move in confusion.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And see, first of all, you gotta trust and believe. Okay.
Yes.
That ain't got to do with faith. It ain't got to do with, because a lot of people like
and reverence too.
You have to. And if you're not doing that, then you're just doing things mindlessly. And there's so many things we do mindlessly. If you take a measure of it and you really start to hone in on that, you can turn your life along really, really, really quick. You know, I listen to a lot of good motivational speakers, some of the older guys. You know, one of the particular guys I really listen to pretty much every day is Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn, he has he's really big on personal accountability. You know, he tells you your mindset, his speeches and everything. It's really good. You know, Les Brown is one of my mentors. I listen to his stuff all the time. Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, I listen to him a lot. A lot of stuff deals with personal and manifesting what you want, not just adhering and making excuses and just simple concepts. What I like about, Eric Thomas, he woves the Bible into everything because he's a minister.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's really good because everything, just like a playbook, the play is right there. Don't run the play. Run the play. And then once you run the play, you figure out how the world responds to it. Then you make it audible. Then you make adjustment. But run the play first.
Yeah.
Run
See
the
how
play
it works.
first. See how it works. Don't say, well, I can't do that. It's words that we say, well, I can't do that. But guess what? You probably won't.
Yeah, we don't even try anymore
We don't even try.
Yeah.
Because guess what? We've already, in my mind, this is what we want to experience now. I always say, I want that, but I know I can't have that. So guess what? What's the last thing that I can't have that? So guess what? I won't have that. So that's the thing. You got to be careful what you tell yourself and what you tell others. But the most important things that I've learned is shut up. Stop telling people your dreams, aspirations, everything, because they're taking personal accountability. And yeah, they should, because I want somebody that's personally accountable, but they also are going to hold you to it and hold you down with it if it doesn't come quick enough in their mind and your mind. And then what you end up doing, you end up quitting because it's not happening fast enough.
Yeah. And
you could have been that far away from breaking through and getting exactly everything that you is, but you quit. You don't quit. You keep going. You make adjustments. You keep going. You don't have a plan B. Stay with plan A, because if you got a plan B, guess what? You already changed it.
You already accept your failure.
You already accept it. Okay, that's not about life. Everybody want to resist change and the possibility of failing. Failing is growth. Failing is growth. Because now I know I've seen this before. Oh, I've seen this before. Don't want to go down that road. But then we anticipate failure. Well, I can't do that. I can't do that because this is stopping me from doing it. This is stopping me from doing it. I start to project myself outside of my thoughts and who I am. That's what I'm saying. There's nothing outside of you that's keeping you from being successful, for being what you want to be. It's you. Stop looking at mom. Stop looking at your boss. Stop looking at your girlfriend, husband, anything like that. As men, nobody cares. Nobody's coming. So you better work on and build yourself. And I tell kids, hey, stop having your mom do your laundry. You do your laundry. You have your cleats. You have your bed. That's not your mom's responsibility. It's been times I told mom, what? You told him you'll get him, right? No, let's not. Make him get it. Take the titty out of his mouth. Let him suck on his own. Let him suck on his own.
Yeah, there's a lot of kids on the titty still.
Exactly.
For sure.
And see, for me, I grew up with my mom, okay? My mom was my mom and dad. I have uncles and stuff like that. But I was taught more to nurture. I wasn't taught how to be a man. I had to learn that. So I naturally was a nurturer. And even the woman that I married, they appreciate that because, man, they can cook, clean, and everything like that. But then didn't give you the respect and the honor that you deserve. And me, I always had women in my life, and I took care of them. Smart, told to be a scholar, a gentleman, and everything else like that. But you can tell that when someone isn't raised with a man in the house, we're so essential.
Yes.
And it's such and that's the reason why there's a lot of chaos in families, because you don't have the family structure.
And black
anymore.
families especially.
They messed up. Look at our side and stuff. They messed us up. No, we messed ourselves up because we allowed it.
Yes.
We didn't combat it. We just accepted it. Oh, she don't want to be in my life. I don't care. I ain't doing nothing. Mm-hmm. I need child support. No, you still be active in their life. Kids need that, especially young females. They need their father in their life. They need to know what a man is.
Yes. So they can not just throw themselves away.
Yeah. I got 3 daughters. You know what I used to do with my daughters? We used to go on dates. Okay? I go and I open the door up and all that stuff. Like we go hang out. Okay? We talk about different things. I got a close relationship. So my oldest daughter is 34. My next oldest daughter is 27. My youngest is 23. None of them was preteen pregnancy, none of that stuff. Because number one, they're individual. They knew the value of who they are because they saw how I treated their mom. Okay? Mm-hmm. But when you don't have that example, you look for that. And you do look for men that resemble your mom or your father. Okay? And my oldest daughter, Genevieve, told me, she said, Dad, that's the one thing I love that I learned is that you infused in me that I am a leader. I deserve more. I deserve this level right here. And it's just so, it made me feel good because, you don't know if you make a difference in your kid's life, but when they give it back to you, it's a special moment. So
yeah, reverence is super important. And I think that we haven't really took that seriously for ourselves and for life around us, whether it be my personal journey, the journey of people around me, the community, nature, especially.
Yeah, nature is so important.
Yes.
Connecting. I think a lot of us will be so busy because the city can be so busy, the world can be so busy. I found solitude in meditating.
Yes.
Cutting everything off.
Did that today.
I do it. I try to do it every day. I try to do it every day. And I encourage people to do it as well because the more you slow things down, you'll start to notice all the different sounds. You can even feel yourself breathing. You can actually feel your heartbeat.
And that's the pacing of life. If you don't come back to that pacing of life, then you're the pacing of everything else.
And to me, it has a very big effect in your personal concept of who you are. And that goes back to getting by yourself, where it's just you and nothing else. The air. People laugh about things like this, breathing techniques, just in and out. And calming yourself down. And major thoughts come in as you're doing that. And that's why I think a lot of people, what I suggest is, and even if it has no structure in it, just journal. Whatever's on your mind.
Yes. I
just
love
journal. It. Just journal. Okay, what do I want to experience? That goes back to the person. What do you want to experience? Because if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for whatever is put in front of you.
Indeed.
And we do. That's what we're doing right now as a society. We're subscribing to the fear mongering and the things that are going on and getting far away from doing your own assessment of how does it affect your life. One thing that I come to grips with, I don't care who's in the office. I don't care if Kamala was in the office or, Trump or anybody like that. As a black man, I've been adjusting to people my whole life. It's just other people are going to be shocked because now you got to deal with it.
Yeah, we can't keep giving too much power away for somebody else to make decisions for us. Well, you know it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's not going. And the fear part, and you know what fear is. You've heard it several times. And I said, I'd be surprised if people don't know. It's false evidence appearing to be real. And you know who always say that? Trump. Oh, that's fake news. That's fake news. That's fake. Yeah, because he knows. He knows what he's doing. And he knows a certain segment of people are going to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. And he knows it doesn't. He's so polarizing that, you know, either you like him or you don't. Okay. And now people try to use the example. I mean, dude, he knew what he was doing. He told you what he was going to do. You voted for him anyway. He's in there now. He's doing that. He's doing things totally. He's doing everything like a businessman. This is a man that's been bankrupt several times. And used the system to keep his status of who he is. You think he gives about? No, he doesn't. But I'm not gonna be oh man, you Trump. I'm not concentrating on that. What does Art want to get out of life? What does Houston want to experience? I think if we just simplify things and start to do that, it doesn't be nothing grandiose. It goes from how I want to eat, how I want to live, how I want to progress through each day. Houston, every day, I get up and I look for the lessons and the blessings that God has for me. I purposely look for it. I don't anticipate problems. I don't anticipate happiness. I stay within myself and I experience what I experience. You know, you see my stuff as well. I don't do my what I call the walk with the Father to get clicks, something like that. And maybe if I focus on it, I can reach more people. But my joy is the couple of people who respond to me and say, hey, I needed to hear that. That's my ministry of what I think it should be. But here's the thing about it is when other people hear me talk, it's like, you could be doing this and doing that. Okay, that's your focus. He's going to lead me where he's going to lead me. He didn't lead me here to have me turn back now. So I'm going to keep moving forward. And whatever it looks like, I'm aligning myself with people like yourself that are like thinkers, that we can conversate, that we can divulge. And this is what we do. Gives people a different avenue to explore themselves. Yeah, that's really important these days.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough people out here that is challenging people to think.
Yeah,
and I think that, and what you said too as well, outside of the accountability mindset and manifesting, is that self-love and value-based life.
Yeah,
and if you don't have any values in life, then it's kind of hard for you to manifest that life that you want because you don't know what you want.
And guess what? You don't see that picture.
Yes.
You ain't even pictured it. You pictured it for everybody else. You've watched the pictures on TV. You've been programmed to see everybody else succeeding, but you can sit back and be a second chair to everything that's happening. But what are you doing in your life?
Yeah, it's about comfortability, conveniency, and conformity.
Come on, say that.
Yeah.
That's just say that one again so people can know.
Conformity. Comfortability, convenience. Okay. And the thing about it is, those three avenues of different things is what we deal with every day. Yes.
What are you doing in your life? What are you conforming to? You know, what are you doing? And it'll reveal itself, but are you concentrating on that?
Yeah, everything's just a reflection of everything that's happening within.
I see, and listen, I say this to people, they get freaked out. But okay, like me and you are here. We're speaking to each other. And we're talking, we're interacting, okay? But the Spirit is speaking to the Spirit, we're connecting. So, to make me not feel like I'm crazy, I'm really talking to myself, if you understand that.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to myself.
Indeed.
And it's not you crazy. It's because both spirits are
one.
Okay? That's what they call love or whatever. But conformity, be on the same frequency. I'm going to put it that way.
Yes.
Okay? Because a lot of people be on low vibration and they want to bring you down low. A lot of people be on high.
Energy
exactly.
Vampires.
Let me tell you something. And see, a lot of people don't understand that when you put it in those terms. But if someone, even when you be around them, and it's just draining, you don't even want to be in their presence, guess what? You got to recognize that. You can't change that. So be mindful of the people you have in your space. I'm big on what do I share? I'm only into sharing time and space with people who want to. You know what? I always say, and I try to live by this. You know what? I want people to appreciate me in their presence. Okay? I don't want to. I go to places where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated.
Yes.
And I might, if I see that you just tolerate me and just, no. But if you are matching energies with me and celebrating who you are and your aspect, and also sharing with me, truly sharing with me, I want to be in your presence. But if you're like, oh, you just doing this, you ain't nothing, this, that, and the other, nah, you just tolerate me until you don't need me no more, and then you're going to throw me out like trash.
Yeah, we get in the same spaces with people where we don't connect with people.
Yeah, exactly.
And we need to stop doing that.
And see, but the thing about it is, we feel a lot of times, and this is an old person who want everybody to succeed. We feel like we're helping, but we're hindering people when we keep being in their presence because they think they deserve the energy that you have.
Yeah, sometimes you have to know when not to water that flower. And they have to water themselves.
You got to watch themselves.
Yeah.
I say this all the time. I can't ask for love, appreciation, trust, value, respect, all those frilly words if I'm not doing it myself.
Yeah.
That's selfish of me. That means that I'm trying to take something from you that I don't even encompass myself. Okay. And a lot of people, what they do is they do say, I forgive you and the things of that sort.
But they don't
really
show
just
it.
wait.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for the next opportunity to match. See, that's what you did that to me. That's why I did that. No,
that's conditional.
Conditional love, conditional circumstances, and there's so many conditional situations. What they call a relationship? Situationship.
Yeah. It's because you give me this, I give you that.
Right. The hookup phase, man. Oh man.
Yeah.
I just want a little bit of joy just right now,
and things are getting too casual now, and I had to take a step back. I'm like, man, this is toxic.
Right.
And also people are having not just casual relationships, but casual sex as well. And it's just like sexual energy is the most potent, powerful energy that you have.
Giving yourself to somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was instilled in us when I was younger. It's just more affluent now, and it's sad.
Well, I mean, it reflects itself in the media as well, and I think there's definitely an agenda behind that as well.
Yes, it is. Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm 55. Yeah, and what I learned is in my 20s. Now I understand it now. Now, in my 20s, that wasn't my time. Wasn't my time. It's my time to build, to put my head down, and become the man that I want to be.
Amen.
Okay, and because my worth is now looking at it, and a lot of people don't understand it, don't like this, but it is true. The highest value for women is in their 20s, from 20 to about 30. Okay, but for a guy, that ain't your highest value because you're building to be the man you are. When you get into your 40s, now, because you've been through some stuff. You experience yourself if you really are working on yourself. Mm-hmm. And now I have something to offer. Now the value switch. Because most women, when they get to their 30s, they dealt with this type of guy, that type of guy, whatever. But now they want to be serious now. They want a more responsible man, this, that, and the other. That hasn't changed in years. But here's what's happening. A lot of women who didn't have an example of a man, okay? They don't need a man. They don't want a man.
Yeah, there's a war against men and women.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not just in. Bro. I wanted to bring that up earlier when we were talking about the government structure now is that they'll use racism, they'll use sexism, they'll use men versus women, they'll use the gender identity, and they'll use all these things to keep us fighting while they're winning.
Yeah.
And taking advantage of the system.
All the time. And see, that's all it is. That's why the gap has gotten so big.
Yeah.
If we keep the middle class and the lower class fighting with each other, corporate America and all the big wigs and all the 10%ers, they can care because all
they profit off that.
They profit off of that.
Because that will build more trauma.
Yeah.
And now we're at this point where when we have trauma instead of going to figure it out, we ride on that dopamine spectrum. We'll go and get that fast food, or we'll go get this quick instant gratification and spend money for that. And it'll never work.
I can count on my hand, brother, when I was growing up, how many times a year I went to McDonald's. I don't know if Eddie Murphy said, I wanted McDonald's bread. We didn't go to McDonald's. The whole neighborhood. We had cookouts. If somebody was struggling, hey, we put it together. Wasn't nobody struggling. You came to eat over our house. Dude, we didn't eat that. We ate. We didn't eat fast food. Now fast food is one of the Chick-fil-A. So many different options. All that different stuff.
40, 50 different ingredients and everything.
And none of them are natural.
No.
None. You know the ingredients in a Chick-fil-A sandwich? Oh, I heard this the other.
It's like 50 ingredients.
Yeah. My God.
Seed oils, all that.
All that stuff. So
it's just killing people.
And the thing about it is, but what is it? It's fast, it's easy, whatever. So I'm just blessed to be able to see things as they are and be able to assess it and see what is the importance in my life. Why is it personal accountability is important? Because I say this. First of all, if you're not true to yourself, then you can't seek truth from other people. And I think a lot of people would do that.
Yeah.
Because they, going back to what I said, inside and out yourself. If you purposely feeling that you aren't receiving something, that means that you ain't producing it within yourself. And like I said, when you're talking to people, especially when you're on the same wavelength, it's like it's one voice, it's one spirit, because I like to surround myself with people like that. Okay.
Yes.
Now, other people may not like that person because here's the thing about it is you don't like yourself because you're saying to yourself, I wish I was more like that person.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
I grew up like that. It wasn't until quarantine when I was 21 that I realized that I have so many different personality traits from other people. I don't even know who I am.
Right.
I've constructed, I've pulled from the world to construct this. Let's think of an action figure or a snowman, and it just melts every time I'm just trying to hold it up. Mm-hmm. It's melting on purpose because that's not meant to be stable.
Right.
There's no stability when it comes from just picking apart the world and making something out of that rather than creating something from nothing within yourself.
So now, and for all those people that are out there, so now, as far as, your personal mindset and things of that sort, if I would put it into order, first of all, get with yourself, okay? And the first thing I would do, if you really want to really tune into where you are, start meditating. Speak less, hear more, and respond and not react to everything that comes to you.
That's a big one.
You're going to make mistakes, but don't think about the mistakes. It's an experience.
Yes.
And that's what God wants us to experience. But don't try to be God in your life and control what the outcome is because you have no control over that. All you have is the steps to make and be who you are. They will formulate the way they're going to formulate, but be one, accepting of whatever happens. Two, make the adjustment to be better for you, not for nobody outside of you. And number three, be honest. Be honest with where you're at.
God speaks the loudest in silence.
And you know what? Hey, Houston, you know what God's voice sounds like?
Exactly like yours.
It's exactly like yours.
Yeah.
It's exactly like yours. It's not this magical voice because he's one with you. So
that's a big thing. Separation.
Yeah.
Separation is huge.
Yeah.
We try to, as soon as we identify with something, we separate ourselves from the whole.
Because here's the thing about it is because that's not my problem. No. Acknowledge it. Give it the response that it needs, and get back to yourself and how you're going to deal with it within before you spread it amongst whoever or wherever you go. One of my things is, and this is my motto in life, and if you've been around me a while, you can kind of see it. I've always been taught, and I always feel comfortable providing more service than I get paid for, not by money, time, resources. I always provide more value. That's the reason why I named my company My Price, My Value, because everybody got a price and everybody value what they pay for something, not because it's the highest or the cheapest. It's because of what I say it is. And a lot of people don't do that. They take whatever price is given to them. They think because it's expensive, it's better. If it's cheaper, it must not be that valuable.
Yeah, money's just a tool. It's not the value in itself.
Money, I say to people all the time, money isn't real. The real currency is your time and your mind, what you invested in, what you give of it, and what you receive. So always be just as gracious and kind with how you do things and how you replicate people in your life.
Yeah, there's I did want to touch on the big word.
Okay.
And with consciousness.
Okay, all right.
And one thing I've noticed, how we were talking about the gap that is between the rich and the poor, and how the middle class is degrading itself right now. There's another gap happening, and that's in consciousness. There's a lot of people that are shifting their views and shifting their consciousness in the expansion, but also there's people that are being left in the world right now and being left in material and chasing things just because of money, but there's no life in that.
Right.
And there's life in consciousness. Consciousness is what intertwines all life.
Right.
It is life itself.
It is life itself.
And I did want to touch back on Perfect Game.
Okay.
What is the correlation that you've had with Perfect Game and the experiences and the lessons that you had, and how that correlates to consciousness? Okay.
So it's been a really good journey for me as far as consciousness is concerned, because number one, trying to infuse a collective of who I am and how what I do affect others around me. So consciously, I am very intentional on how I treat everyone across the board. I don't treat the person, I treat my system. Okay? It's my system, how I do it. So being conscious of the effect of me as an umpire, me as an umpire chief, me as an African-American male, I know I'm being watched or whatever perceptively, but consciously I don't allow that to change anything about who I am. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I do things because I know this is what I want to experience. Now, if it doesn't collectively match with what people think of me, it's okay. But I'm trying to infuse a system to make sure that I'm always thinking about what's important to me and what I bring value to. I bring value to Perfect Game because I purposely want to be a certain way so that others feel okay with being themselves. Okay? And as they're okay with themselves, now I open up the opportunity for them to work on their consciousness of who they are, how we look, how we are presented, how we are perceived, okay, as umpires, as men, as all those different things. So being conscious of who you are is very important, but you have to, going back to what I say is, you have to constantly work on that, because you can't waver. You have to define it, and you have to continue to refine it all the time. Because if not, you'll get stagnant. You'll fall back into, just taking whatever comes about.
Yeah, life is always shifting. It's always molding.
And
there's
okay
no
with
firm
it.
position.
It's no firm position. And what gets me is a lot of people who are so stern that they will not embrace change or try to change because they're comfortable. They're comfortable.
Yeah. Like we
Whether
said,
it's good or bad, they're
conveniency,
comfortable. And it's convenience.
Yeah.
And I don't have to conform to anybody but me. But you still have a personal responsibility to yourself. What do I feel comfortable about? What do I conform to? Consciously, what do I want to experience? Not what I'm told I should experience because I am an umpire, because I am African American male. You know how some people did give the back slap, or you're a good man, you're a good, and put a stamp, whatever you want to put on there.
Yeah. Instead
of saying you're just a good man. That's the best compliment in the world, because now you see me as a man. You don't see me as the black guy. We get it all the time.
For sure.
Because you know what? Comfortability. That's big in what we do. They don't want to conform to us, because that would mean that we're on the same level they are. I'm going to tell you this. It was drilled in my head when I was a young kid. My mom said this to me before I went out to college. She said, Arthur, she was very, 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 she is a very smart lady. She's still living. She said, you're going to have to do things 3 and 4 times better than people who don't look like you, just to be considered. Don't trust anybody. Trust in yourself. It's not fair. It's never going to be fair. But don't look for somebody to give you anything. Earn everything that you get because of the way you are, not what they say you are. So don't be what they think you are. I say that to kids all the time. And I say the older parents, but that goes back to being conscious of who you are, not to get an effect from somebody, but to be you. Just to be you, to say, I'm conscious of what I'm doing because I intentionally did what I did to experience something the way I want to experience. Now, does it always happen that way? No. But the more I can get in tune to what I want to experience, how I want to experience, step by step, doing it over and over again, it becomes like a muscle memory. Okay? You don't even think about it. Constantly, your mind always, I'm not paying attention to that. Nope.
Yeah.
I'm not even going there because that's not what I want to experience. That's your conscious. Now with your subconscious, see, here's the thing what people don't understand. Your subconscious talk to you all the time. You got these different things coming in the background, but only thing that comes to the forefront, it becomes your conscious mind, because now it's moved from just a thought to now this is what I want to experience. And people don't understand. They think, the subconscious makes you do the no. Subconscious is just a lot of different information.
It's just replaying.
It's just replaying.
It's everything that you ever saw, experienced, heard.
Yep, that's all it is.
It's up to you to dictate.
Now, let's equate it like this. When you're conscious, this is the record you want to produce now.
I like that.
This is the record you want to produce now. So I've had beats, I've had verses, I've had, whatever music you like. I had all that stuff. But until I make a record, I ain't trying to make I'm just trying to make a record. and play my record, play my song that I want to play.
I like the way you put that. Yeah, I like that. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, I'm being conscious. I'm making a record.
Yeah,
I'm making a record for me. Now, if others enjoy that record and want to do that, I ain't trying to win a Grammy or anything like that. If I win one because it takes me where I want to be, okay. But I'm not just going to just mindlessly listen to music or whatever and not develop my own song. And your conscience is your own song. So
for sure. I love the way that you put that. I never heard that before.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've learned throughout my whole life is that I'm the master of my own experiences.
Yep, you are.
I'm the master of my own path.
And when you say that and mean that, nothing else can bother you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can take everything away from me. One of my favorite characters in the Bible who lost everything. Kids.
Was it Job?
Job,
yeah.
Job, brother. I read those scriptures all the time. Cause what I say is, cause I've lost so much, but I continue to want to serve. I didn't curse God because I knew He got something better for me. You know, I've been through a lot. I was married 28 years. I had a wonderful family. But the last 4 years, man, I've really tuned into myself. I've worked on myself. I look at myself. I'm honest with myself of where I at. You know, in my previous relationship, what I did was I took personal accountability. I asked God, give me the skills. I didn't tell him to go change her. I said, give me the mindset, give me the skills to be able to deal with what I'm dealing with right now. And He did, you know, and He delivered me. And I stopped, because I was 50, 51, it was about 4 or 5 years ago. When I got
COVID time too, thinking about it. Okay.
Exactly.
That's an interesting alignment.
Which really, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in coordinates with what they did to us, because that was purposely done. I don't want to get into all that.
Yeah. That's a whole conversation.
So, we had to deal with each other. You had to deal with yourself. You had no distractions. You couldn't go to the movies. You couldn't go to dinner. You couldn't sit in it, deal with family. I don't know what the numbers were, but I bet they were high. People getting divorced, people getting out.
Mental illness, everything was insane.
Yeah. So I credit, you know, me really focusing on that. I had most of the friend of mine, Chris O'Neill, guy I went to college with and knew in high school and everything. So I moved back home and he's a conscious person too. We looked at different things different, you know?
Yeah.
And it really gave me an opportunity to really look at me, you know? Really, what do you want to experience? You know, and with all the things that's happened, I'm not surprised that things are going the way they're going right now, you know?
Because we're giving that power away.
Oh, man. I'm not giving my gifts away anymore. Yeah. I'm being obedient to what, you know, the Father tells me to do. I'm focusing on what I want to get out of the universe. And see, a lot of people, it's so glaring now. When I talk to people, I can talk to people for a couple of minutes and I can see where they at. I can see whether I want to interact with them more, because there's some key words that they say. If they start saying things, because they're not going to be open to what you say, or if everything I say, they have a rebuttal for it, you're not really listening. I mean, you're not hearing me.
You want to be right.
You want to be right.
Yes. And you are
you want to be
stuck
right.
in your ways.
Yeah.
And if anybody challenges that, it's reactionary.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier.
Oh, Lord. We see it all the time on the baseball field.
Oh, man.
I'm like a coach. I'm like, Coach, hold on, Coach. Because I want coaches. Okay, Coach. I want you to say something. Because then again,
like you said, you're gonna point it right back at him.
Put it right back to you. You know, and see, then I want to get into feelings and emotion, what I perceive it to be. not consciously, what I see is what I want to experience. Okay, what I see. So
Control.
Very good, very good. And yeah, I'm constantly working on that. I'm constantly being brutally honest with myself.
Umpiring will do that to you for sure.
And I'm doing it in life too, because you can't avoid that man in the mirror. I swear to you can't. And so many people do. They want to avoid. They don't want to get hurt. They don't want. But guess what? You're doing up by hurting yourself, because guess what? It's coming right back around.
Avoiding suffering only adds to suffering.
Yeah, it does. It does. And one of the biggest things, and I as far as conscience is concerned, I equate things to like storms. Okay, so we all know storms. They can be very treacherous. But the one thing I've learned, and being conscious, is to not stand in the rain. Keep moving. Nothing comes to stay. Everything comes to pass. You feeling good about yourself? Things going
This too
great?
shall pass.
This here too shall pass. I can't get nothing right. Man, everybody's on my back. This here too shall pass. The problem is we only want to harness in on the things that are good and avoid the things that are bad. It's not bad or good. It's an experience. And what do I learn from that experience and consciously do and replicate to make my record? What do you constantly do to make your record? Are you trying to make it like everybody else's record? Are you sampling? Are you making an original? I can't tell you how to do it, but you got to make your record somewhere. And that record is going to define you and who you are for you, not for nobody else. Because everybody going to have their own perspective, but consciously, you got to decide, what do I want to be?
Hey, I'm sorry. I have to give you applause for that one. Because I love that analogy that you made. I never heard that.
Yeah.
And it kind of just goes back to the fact that life is your orchestra.
Yeah.
And you're the conductor.
You are.
Yeah.
You are.
And all these different parts are the subconscious. The conductor is the
person who brings,
I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I see you.
Who brings the music to unison.
Yes.
To move forward. Other than that, it's just background noise until you bring it to the forefront to make the sound, i.e. your belief of what you are. Then it's just, you just listen to music. How many people listen to music? They listen to music all the time.
Man.
But guess what? The words mean something. What do your words mean?
Yes.
How are you perceiving yourself? Not perceiving. How are you projecting yourself? Okay.
What's your perception of karma?
Karma?
Yeah.
I think it's real.
Yes.
I think it's real.
Yeah.
And here's what I mean about that is that old saying, do amongst others what you want done to yourself. Okay. I'm big on that.
Yeah.
I don't mess with karma, bro. I try my best not.
It's law.
It's law. The laws of what? Attraction, purpose, everything. And when you intentionally do something to get a result that you want and it affect other people, yeah, it's coming back.
For sure.
And it's going to come back. It's going to come back when you least expect it.
Yeah, and it won't, and 9 times out of 10, it won't come back from the source in which you gave.
It won't.
Yeah.
It hardly ever does, because that's the whole evolution of all the different things, going back to conscious and being conscious, subconscious, and also making sure that you're being who you are, being true to thyself. And guess what? If I'm intentionally doing something to get a result, when I know that I'm wrong, and I'm wronging someone on purpose, I'm talking about on purpose now.
Yeah.
Because I want to infuse hurt, pain, whatever. That hurt and pain, whatever you put in, it's coming back. It's coming back. And guess what? And you're going to say, hey, why is this happening to me? Because you did that right there.
Yeah. And the same equivalent. If you put this much energy, God's going to say, all right, that's what you did. Mm-hmm. It's by law that I have to give you that same energy.
That same energy.
You don't know how it's going to come back, but it will come back.
You notice how people use a lot of the different terms that we're talking about right now, but never really practice what they say it is.
Yeah, and karma is such a negative word now.
No, yeah, it is. It is. And I guess when you said that, instantly everybody think, well, you did something bad.
Yeah, it's a simple contract that you sign. Every decision that you make, whether if it's thoughts, words, or actions, is a contract, and it's going to come back.
And guess what? Like Dion said, I'm keeping receipts. God's keeping receipts. He got receipts in on paper, but he got them. Okay, but here's the thing about it is, what are you putting forth? What are you? Because we're all here until we're called home to contribute some way in this world. It's a lot of people that goes through life, know the skill they have, kept it to themselves, and died because they didn't share it with the rest of the world. That's not looking favorable on what God has. And guess what got them though? It's their individual fears, didn't want to take opportunity to do it. I, on the other hand, when I was growing up, and in the work world, I've always been the same type of person, but I was always the person that was positive, team guy and everything. I didn't really want to be the individual. I succeeded. Some individual, but I never took accountability for myself. Like, I'm the whatever. Yeah. Titles never meant anything to me. Okay. What I wanted is the purpose of what I'm doing. But when God told me, I want you to go do the things I put inside of you. Don't be afraid. I got you. And I stopped relying on money. Because I used to make $75,000, $100,000 a year, and was miserable as all outdoors, brother. Tired as all outdoors. I make way less money, but I got better value. I got value in relationships I have right now. I have a team of people that I work with now, and I feel like the richest man in the world because guess what? I have my sanity. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table in relationships, whether it's business, friendship, or things of that sort. I don't tolerate being depleted anymore. I used to just take it, but no. And people would say, the old art, you sound selfish. You sound. This is a new word people were saying. I didn't understand that. You sound narcissistic. I'm like, because I'm confident of who I am and what I want to do. But those are your words and not mine. I try not to get in the word war with people because you say them for what you've heard, but you don't understand what you're saying. What you're really doing is you don't like what you see in me because you don't like yourself. Okay. Because I really come to the conclusion when people start to combat me, you don't like me. So it's like that.
Yeah. Man, bars are being spit today. For real.
Yeah. You got a lot to divvy out. You can put a couple sessions into that. Yeah. And like I said, this is not going to be the only encounter. We can talk a little bit more about different things and let's partner and do some stuff because I think it'd be good.
I would love to.
Yeah. So just let me know. Like I said, I travel a lot, but like I said, we can always do it. You got a nice little setup here.
Thanks,
I like
man.
this. This is great.
I appreciate it.
And you're on top of it. And I'm blessed. I love your saying. It's simple. It's applicable.
Catchy. It's catchy.
It's
too.
catchy, and it makes you want to say, "What this? Let me click on this and see what this." And that's good. So I don't know how you're going to cut this up, but however you want to do it, fine. We only got to one subject today. I gave you 3.
Yeah.
So we can do it. We can do the next one in a couple of weeks or whatever. If you do it once a week, we can do it twice a week. Whatever you want to do, just let me know.
Yeah, whatever works, man.
Yeah, I got you, brother.
I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man. You know what? I just like being able to, just connect with people, man. And like I said, I've always been a giving heart and giving person, and this is a great opportunity to do that. I know I have a gift to be able to do that, and also do you. I just like sharing time and space with people who want to enlighten others. And
yes.
if we all do this a little bit, the world will be a lot better.
100%.
But if we concentrate on the things that we can't control, because everything starts with you. That's the first step of self-accountability, is stop blaming everybody else. Stop blaming everybody else.
Indeed.
Okay? Get yourself about yourself, okay?
Yeah.
Stop doing that, because guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody coming to get you. So you better build up a little resiliency about how you do things and come up with a system that works for you so you can apply it within your everyday life.
Yeah, real quick, I did want to touch back on those gifts that God has instilled us with. And one thing I've learned is that if you don't act upon those gifts, He'll give them to somebody else.
Yep.
You have to put more respect not only on your name but with God as well, because if you were given those gifts, you are the suitable vessel for those gifts to come about in the world.
Right.
And that's just a testimony of how great and how much of a miracle life is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't truly realize life is a miracle. The ability to wake up this morning is a miracle.
Come on.
The odds you have went against all odds.
Let me tell you what I say here, because I purposely say this. Like, people say, how you doing? I say, how you doing today? I'm doing good. How about you? My staple thing I say everywhere, and I mean every bit of it. My mom hates it because my dad used to rhyme like this too. I said, I'm doing good because I knew I would. All right. Now I get one or two response. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I never heard that before. Oh, well, God bless you. I say, let me tell you something. I get up every morning. I brew up this every morning. I give it away freely, even when people don't want it. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, well, I want some of that. Well, I just gave it to you, and I go give it to somebody else. And I mean that, because I purposely know that I woke up this morning, somebody didn't. I can see, somebody can't. I can walk. Yeah, I'm a little wobbly. My knees hurt, but I can walk. Yeah. Okay? I can hear the sounds of the world. I have a mind that I can have infused thought and feel thought today, just for today, every day. And every day I'm building.
Yeah. You see, I see the homeless every day. Yeah. I see what's going on in the Middle East every day.
Every day.
And it's like, instead of feeling guilty about my existence, I take advantage of it. And there's a lot more respect towards it as well. I'm like, man, I cannot take this for granted. So every day I come to work. Mm-hmm. If it's paving the new way for the next generation and just working on my creativity, on my art, like I'm doing today, and networking, which I'll be doing all night tonight, then that's what I have to do. But tomorrow I have nothing on my plate. Tomorrow's gathering myself, cleaning, meditating, resting.
Your system.
Yeah.
Your system, your conscious system. Oh, that's the fiance. She don't know where I'm at. But anyway, that's another thing, man. God has blessed me with a wonderful fiance, man. I mean, no pun against my ex-wife, but I call her my peace, bro, and I really mean that, because there's nothing like having someone always check you. Not check you in a bad way, but accountability.
Yes.
So when I say something like, I'm doing this all for you, she said, no, we doing this for us. And this is her calling me. Hey, let me call you right back. So sorry about that. She gets a little impatient. But like the example, we had and I slipped up with my words the other day. It was yesterday. We were having dinner, and I was giving an example, and I slipped and said my wife. I didn't say my ex-wife, and she felt a certain way. I came home and I'm like, what's going on? This, that, and the other. She said to me, do you still love your wife? I said, no, that's my ex-wife. But the words,
For sure.
the words, because
You
we've been
sound
on a
like
good
contract
journey.
when you said that.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And subconsciously, because it wasn't consciously,
Right.
it was still in the background. That's still in the background. Even though I'm making another song, it's still running in the background. And I said that and didn't even know I said it. You see how important that is about concentrating and really focus? And she got a little, she said, do you really want to get married? Because we're engaged now. And it took me on a defense. And I thought about it. I was like, why did you go on a defense? That's the OR, to make you, oh, baby, no. Let's talk about this. That's what I said. Let's talk about this. Tell me how you feel. Because if not the OR, I've been telling you and trying to assure you this isn't it. And I started to use it, but I stopped. I said, okay, well, tell me how you feel about that. And she did. She said, I don't think it is that. I said, okay, I can understand that part. First of all, I want to apologize. So I explained that to her. But that really particular thing, I'm like, yeah, I can see how that can hit a little bit different. But I instantly want to fix it, as us as men is doing, instead of conversating and validating her concerns without infusion. Well, I'm the man, you believe me, I've done all this. Going back to, look at what I've done.
Yeah.
How can you say, no, you have a right to those feelings because they came. Now, and I explained to her, I'm not here to make you happy. That's what I made that mistake last time when I was married.
Yeah, that's big.
I got to be happy with myself. Okay,
We share happiness.
We share it, and that's what she said to me. No, us, we do. And she always correct me, and I always correct her too. If she said, "Look, no," so that's what's good about what I have now, because I have an accountability partner who loves me as much as I love her. And I'm not saying my ex-wife didn't, but I didn't require a lot. I put her up on the standard. I created Frankenstein. Okay, that's okay. I took accountability for that. So anyway, it's just good to have to be loved and be replicated. That's all important about it. So,
For sure.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man.
All right, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna be the last time.
For sure. Indeed.
Well,
Indeed.
Let me know when you get everything up and everything like that. And I'm gonna get a chance to look at that. It's very interesting to see how you cut it up how you want, brother. Because it's a lot of stuff there.
Indeed. So, last thing before I go into my little closing, how can we reach you? How can we get in touch with you? And if anybody is interested in umpiring as well.
Okay, that's good. Now, as far as umpiring, I belong to several associations, and like I said, one of the biggest things is Perfect Game. We are in Chesterfield. We have tournaments all through from March all the way to October. We'd love to have different people. The best way to get in contact with me is via email, my price, my value, all one word, at gmail.com. I'm currently working on my website right now. I do a lot of, if you're on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, my name is just simply Arthur Phillips. You'll see me with my grandbaby on there. But that's for the old people, because I know the old people are on Facebook. Now, you younger people who are on Insta, it's Art Phillips 32. That's my number I've had my whole life. And different Insta. And TikTok, And also, I'm on TikTok too as well. Not as much. I'm trying to get more in that. I know a lot of people are on that as well.
Man, that's addicting.
But my TikTok name is Art. I think it's Art Attack. Yeah, Art Attack.
I like that.
So yeah, Art Attack. Yeah.
I like that.
Instead of Heart Attack, Art Attack. So, but I am currently working on a couple of different things. I do with my motivational speaking. I speak to organizations. I do personal coaching as well, along the lines of consciousness and accountability and stuff like that, and helping you build a personal brand. That's very important. That's building your own personal brand that nobody else can replicate, and start to take accountability for your life. I work with a lot of teenagers, a lot of college students, because you're still a pretty much a good easel about your life, and give you some principles to look at and to work on. I do work with businesses as well. I'm just not as actively working on different things. So, but that's how you can reach me. I love to. I post probably three or four times a week on Insta, because it goes to Facebook, and I call it the Daily Walk with the Father. So if you want just a word to prepare you for the day each day, take a look at that, and that can give you that personal mindset of doing things.
Indeed. Is there any last my price, my value, motivation, inspiration, or
well,
key takeaway?
Yeah, the key takeaway today is don't be afraid to be what you were created to be. Okay, purposely and consciously look to experience what you want to experience, not what others want you to experience. Very, very important. And last but not least, get better every day. Your biggest competition is not your coworker, not your friends, not anybody in your life. Your biggest competition is you.
The man in the mirror.
If you're not getting better every day, then you are not growing. Okay? Some days you're going to get your butt kicked. Some days you're going to kick butt. But you got to look and say, am I better today than I was yesterday? And be honest with yourself. Always. Because guess what? The only person grading is God.
Indeed.
And guess what? He don't reveal the grade until he calls you home. So we always working.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, I appreciate you guys for staying with me in episode 21, which is a big episode. I'm glad to experience it with you, because when podcasts get to episode 21, you are now in the 1 percentile.
Okay.
Because many podcasts fail before they get to episode 21.
I can understand that too.
So,
I can
yeah.
understand that too.
Because a bunch of people love to start a podcast, and out of just maybe they were drunk or high, and they were just like, we should do this, and didn't last.
Yeah. I'm still trying to do a few with my daughter, who is like a father-daughter thing. You know, we did a couple on Facebook together while I was.
I did see that. Yeah.
So and she's interested. My daughter is wow. Yeah. Anyway, all right. How old are you say?
I'm 26 now.
26. Okay. All right. Okay. Good for you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
But hey, guys, I appreciate you guys for staying tuned in this lovely episode 21 with Big Heart Art. The biggest takeaway that I have for you guys, like we always do, is that here in Mind is Mind is all about evolution of consciousness, and we can't do that without a level of accountability for ourselves individually, but also as a collective as well. And if you are present in St. Louis, especially, there is a huge level of accountability that we need to hold for ourselves, again, as individuals in the collective, to change the outlook that we have on this city, because it's a beautiful city, and we have a bunch of potential, and we have the potential to have an impact like a New York City or in LA. We just have to, it starts with us. It starts with the community. It starts with the population, the people here. And if we can come together, not only grow individually, but grow as a unit, then we can truly transform the city. But hopefully everything found you guys well, and with that, it's love and peace.
It's love and peace. Let me give you one more thing.
Go ahead.
Now, everyone, what I did, my important word, I do this every day. And I always end my session with,
I love it.
Everyone you encounter today, meet them where they are. Look to enlighten, encourage, and support all those who need your light to see the possibility that God has for them as his children. Open up your mind, your heart, and your life to him, and he'll give you peace. May God's grace and favor be with you always. That's Houston Himes. I'm Big Art Phillips with My Price, My Value. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Love and blessings.